The greatest power in the universe is life, and it's in you. Every moment, every hour, every day, month, and year, you gain more experience, more ability, more power. Go be great.
You're listening to the Go Be Great podcast with Travis Wolf Sr., inspiring you to strive for greatness in everything, everywhere, every time.
Go be great!
Great day, great day, great day. This is the Go Be Great podcast. I'm your host, Travis Wolf Sr., and you are great. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. You know, people often ask me, and friends, it's like, I hear this question so much. Some of my mentees recently asked me, a couple of them, it's the same question. How do you stay motivated? Or, I need motivation. Or, can you help me get motivated? And you know, it's an interesting question that people ask because I think that all of us kind of have had that feeling where we're not motivated or even we're demotivated. And you know, it's very interesting. A friend of mine a few years ago, one of my very best friends, he asked me, he said, Trav, well, I'll give you some more context. So often he would call me, and every time he calls me, you know how calls go, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? How's your day? Whatever. And whenever he would ask me that question, I would always respond, great. You know, I'm doing phenomenal, I'm doing amazing. And it kind of became routine for him to hear that. And I guess he felt like it was, you know, it had become more mechanical than actually being like the true emotion. So he's like, you know, Trav, I just don't believe that you can always, like, are you doing anything other than great? You know, do you feel any other way than phenomenal? Because I don't think it's possible to like really truly always feel that way. You know, I don't think that that's like truly possible. So, you know, he had me thinking about that. You know, am I always, because anytime any of you listening or watching, you know, you guys know whenever you ask me how I'm doing, it's always phenomenal. It's always amazing. It's always great. And it was interesting because I started to think, you know, am I really always doing phenomenal? Because things are happening around me that aren't not necessarily what I think I want right now or what I prefer. Like the things that are happening may not be preferable. Like I didn't make rent, you know, last month, you know, and this is, you know, rent was paid. I'm good. Like don't worry about it. I'm not getting kicked out of my house, you know, but in the past, you know, rent hadn't gotten paid, you know, things weren't going well sometimes. I was, you know, missing bills and, you know, just things were happening. I get a flat tire, you know, like how can things be going great right now if I have a flat tire? How can things be going great right now if my grandmother just passed? Like how can things be really going great, you know, so I understand all of us have these kinds of things that are happening in our lives, but for me, I believe that it's truly possible to really be doing great, really be doing phenomenal and amazing at all times. And what I said to him was, you know, I'll try to think of some other things to say, you know, so I tried to think of other things that were aligned with phenomenal and amazing and extraordinary, but, you know, that's truly how I feel. I truly feel that way every day. And, you know, the reason why many of us cannot find that enthusiasm, you know, or why we cannot find that motivation, or why we cannot find that, you know, that oomph to go, you know, drive through and get things done, you know, to wake up every day and strive to do great things. It's because many of us don't have vision, right? Many of us don't have a vision. All we're seeing is things aren't going really well, and we can't see beyond the things that are non-preferable at this moment to see, or we don't have the perspective to look at that thing that's happening right now to see that thing's actually helping me, right? Does that make sense? Like, what if when you get a flat tire, what if you looked at it like, man, I'm so grateful I got a flat tire because I know this might sound crazy to some of you, but I promise you, people do this. I do this. I promise you, this is a good way to think, right? Immediately right now when it happens, it's like, crap, I got a flat tire, or crap, you know, my situation ain't what I want it to be, or crap, I just missed rent, you know. But I think that that's the human in us. But I believe that it's still possible to be like, well, I'm so grateful I got this flat tire because if I didn't, you know, something could have happened down the road that that God was trying to keep me from, or something could have happened down the road that would have been way more less preferable than this flat tire, right? So what I always try to do is just put an absolute positive spin on everything. And going back to what I was saying before, I think the reason why we don't have that motivation, the reason why we're not enthusiastic is because we don't have that vision. That something greater is happening for us, that something greater is our goal. We're not pushing constantly toward that goal. I look at every situation that happens as this situation is helping me to get closer toward my goal. And with a flat tire, you're kind of stopped and you kind of can't get closer, technically, physically. But I do believe that that flat tire is actually helping me to get closer to my goal. So the reason I didn't get to drive home the point that I wanted to drive home, that the reason why we don't have that enthusiasm is because we don't have that vision. So no vision, no enthusiasm. It's important for us to set up a vision, for us to write down and create a vision for our lives and what we actually want to do. And then for us to celebrate those small goals, those small achievements, those, when you set a big goal, like you have a giant vision, there's goals that you have to set to actually get you steps, right? To get you closer and closer to that vision, right? And each step is a goal. And sometimes it's really good, actually all times, it's really good to reverse engineer that success, what that looks like, right? So let's say we have an ultimate vision, an ultimate goal. How do we get there, right? So we reverse engineer. Well, I know I'm going to have to do this, I'm going to have to do that, and before I do that, I got to do this, and before I do that, I got to do this and this and this, and you just keep going back until you create a bunch of steps, smaller steps that are going to get you toward that ultimate goal, and then you celebrate those small achievements. You celebrate achieving that step, getting to that goal, getting to that place, until you get to your ultimate goal, which is very interesting because once you get to the ultimate goal, you're going to want more because naturally, innately, humans always want more. We have an insatiable desire for growth, so we're always going to want more. But as you achieve that goal, you set bigger goals, you set greater goals, and you just keep working toward those goals and understanding that all things that are happening are in divine order, right? All the things that, once you put that goal out, once you create that ultimate vision, everything that's happening is helping you to get closer to that ultimate goal. Everything. Like once you put that ultimate vision out there, all the universe conspires to help you achieve that goal, right? I read in the book, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, he says in the book, when the person truly desires a thing, all of the universe conspires to help that person achieve their dream, right? So that person that hit your car, right? That person is actually, that event is actually helping you get closer towards your ultimate goal. And maybe we don't see it as that, right? And I think that's the challenge. I think I want to challenge us to really be able to really see it that way because many people do. And it's not that, and the many people that do are the people that are massively successful, right? The many people that look at that as, oh man, this is a bad situation, or this, oh, this happened to me, bad things are always happening to me. You're right. Everything that happens is you're going to view it as a bad thing, and bad things are going to continue to happen to you. Or you can view it as a positive thing, and you can start saying only great things. My family and I, we have this saying, and my wife we all check each other because we're all human, right? And sometimes we go down that rabbit hole of getting frustrated when things happen. And I'm so grateful to have a good unit around me, a good family, a good support system around me. My wife, my kids, Travis does it often to me, Anaya, even Ariel, even my 6-year-old. We check each other and say, bad things don't happen to us, right? We check ourselves and we say, only good things happen to us. My wife will be like, as a retired police officer, I still haven't been able to shake that idea that, in this situation, I've seen these types of things happen. So we need to get out of this situation we need to get out of this environment before something like what I've seen happens, just because of my experience. And my wife constantly reminds me, bad things don't happen to us. Only good things happen to us. So it's really interesting and really an awesome experience to have people around me that are constantly checking me and helping me to remember the things that I say. Because, you know, it's always easier to say the things that we need to learn ourselves, right? So it's always easy to teach people the things that we need to learn ourselves. And, you know, often as I'm teaching these things, I, as a human, sometimes fall short of what my standard, my own standards are. So think about that. If people can do that, if people can think about things that way, why can't you? You know, why can't you, or in fact, why can't you? You know, why can't you think like that? You can think that way. So that's what I want to challenge you to do. Just think a little bit differently. Strive to look at all situations as situations that are helping you and working for you. And I think that perspective would help you to see things a lot differently. Now, finally, I just want to wrap up and just say, no vision, no enthusiasm. When you don't have anything to work toward, there's nothing to be enthusiastic about. There's nothing to be motivated about. So just continue to work toward those goals. Continue to push forward. Continue to believe that you're going to get there, and you'll strengthen that belief by taking immediate action, taking consistent action towards your goals, right? Waking up every day, I didn't feel like doing a podcast this morning, right? I didn't feel like waking up and standing here in front of the camera and doing this. I just didn't feel like doing it. But I got up out of bed. I said, you know what? Let me go get it done. Let me go do it because it needs to get done. You know, and I know what the ultimate goal is for the podcast, and I want to help other individuals strive for greatness in everything, everywhere, every time. And I can't do that if I'm laying in the bed. So I got to get up and I got to go do it, and I got to get motivated, and I got to get intrinsically motivated. I got to push myself through. I got to go down there. I got to get in the office. I got to set the cameras up. I got to stand in front of it. I got to talk. And at the end of it, someone's going to be inspired to strive for greatness. So that's my mission, that's my vision, and at least for the podcast, and that's why I do what I do. So I hope that you get something out of this. I believe that this is something that I truly know is powerful and works, and everybody who I know who does it has a phenomenal life. So if you want to have a phenomenal, extraordinary, amazing life and want to be doing great every day, first of all, you woke up this morning. You woke up this morning. If you can't see that as phenomenal and extraordinary, maybe you might want to shift your perspective, because that alone gets me motivated. That alone gets me excited and enthusiastic. I woke up today. Everything else is the cherry on top. I woke up today. That means that God's not done with me. That means that the creator of the universe, right, has something more for me to do. Is still not done with me yet. And I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to have life in my body and to be able to have the opportunity to strive for greatness and to try to inspire others to do the same. If that's not motivating enough, I don't know what is. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so grateful for you and your time, your attention. I know how valuable it is. I do not take it for granted. I just want to say, be open to changing your perspective. If you want to be enthusiastic every day, if you want that energy and that motivation every day to get up and strive for whatever that ultimate goal is for yourself, create a vision. Create a vision, because without vision, there is no enthusiasm. Thank you for tuning in. God bless you, and go be great.